Welcome back. I am John P. Today we have a very special episode because we are joined by my business partner at Del Rey Watch, Federico from Federico Talks Watches. How are you?
It's a great day to be a watch dealer.
Absolutely. We have him back here today because actually based on request, because so many of you enjoyed our last video. Make sure to check out that video. I'll put a link in the description below. But actually today, what we're going to be talking about is 5 qualities of recession-proof watches. We could talk about recession-proof watches and give the models, but the reality is when we make these predictions, we could be wrong. So instead, we'll give qualities and let you decide which watches fit those categories.
Yeah, things that we see in models that tend to hold value well, essentially.
Or it'll come back after recession.
Yes, that too.
That's kind of what we're going to talk about. But actually, what do you have on your wrist today?
Today I'm wearing my Breguet Marine, previous generation.
Ooh, I like Breguet.
On the rubber strap, and I don't know, man, it's just like a great watch that straddles the sports world, but is also on the dressier side, which I enjoy.
Awesome, excellent. Well, on my wrist today, I have my Vulcan Cricket, kind of a special one, a TV screen.
Super
case.
rare.
It is super rare, and we're going to talk about some of the qualities here that might make this a watch that could potentially withstand the recession.
Fingers crossed for you.
Fingers crossed. But anyway, actually, before I forget, back there on the screen, let's duck down, Fed, or get out of the way there. We have actually an H. Moser, which is a big brand that you love.
Yep, we just got in the H. Moser Streamliner. Very, very hard to get. It's on Del Rey Watch.
Integrated sports.
Integrated sports bracelet, massively in demand, sold out everywhere.
Fully in-house.
And we're selling it. And we're the least expensive on earth to the point, and I'm not going to name any names here.
Don't name any names.
But I got a phone call. I got a phone call over the weekend from somebody else in the industry, and specifically about this. And he's like, "Dude, why are you selling it so low?" And I'm like, "Because I think that's a fair price, and I know what I paid for it." But yeah, anyway, it's a great deal. Yes, it is not inexpensive, but you know, if you want to pick up one of these watches, very hard to get. We are currently the least expensive on earth, and you can get yourself a great deal at delreywatch.com.
delreywatch.com. So without further ado, let's run on. I'll take the first one. A quality that could make a watch recession-proof or come back in value after recession is unique. If a watch is unique, that means that there will be a certain number of people that are going to want it in the future because it's special. Right now, there's going to be some other qualities. That's not the only thing, right? If it's a watch that nobody wants, if it's unique, well, nobody still wants it. But we'll talk on the list. But if it is unique, it's going to increase the likelihood that it'll hold value.
Something with a watch doesn't have much of a substitute, right? Like something that, well, if you like these qualities, then this is pretty much the model for you.
That's the watch.
And yeah, something unique that doesn't have a ton of like alternatives to it. I think that's definitely a good quality.
Absolutely.
For a recession-proof watch. Another one that I'm gonna mention is a brand that is enthusiast-driven, a brand with a little bit of hype, and I'm not talking about like the bad hype I talk about, but hype around watch collectors that love it.
Would you say H. Moser?
I'd say H. Moser's pretty darn good. I'd say Journe. I'd say Patek. If you want to go less expensive, things like Sartori Billard. I was going to say Ming, but you know, they blew up that brand themselves.
Maybe even Zin, right? Zin has a
Zin holds
huge
value,
enthusiast
decent
community.
Yeah, stuff that like watch enthusiasts want and are excited about.
Right?
Yeah.
If it's a hobby, you're still probably going to have a hobby during a recession. But if it's a luxury good, maybe you cut back or trim during a recession.
Absolutely. Yeah, something that's enthusiast-backed, I think, is a good thing to look for sure.
Awesome. So another potentially type of watch would be vintage, right? The thing with vintage and why I personally like vintage, I think it's great, or it increases the likelihood of retaining value or coming back after a recession or withstanding it, is going to be that they're just not making any more of them, right?
100%.
So you can have a watch that's limited edition, but when Omega comes out with a Speedmaster next year that's maybe one little thing off from the one that came out last year, okay, it's limited, but it just says something different on the case back.
But also, let's be clear, like, what do you consider limited edition? Because like in my mind, even by a big brand like Omega, like if you made more than 200 of something, it ain't limited. Mr. Omega 10,007 versions of this 007 watch. I mean, that's like more production than like a normal brand.
They made 200 today, but tomorrow will they make 200 more? They're not, there's no guarantees, but with vintage, it's guaranteed. Gone. It's guaranteed.
And they're getting less and less every day because things get damaged, you know, people lose them, parts get scarce. The vintage is a more stable market in general when it comes to watches than modern.
The quantity is guaranteed to decrease in the market every
100%. 100%. This one's a little bit of a cop-out, but it's true.
Oh, here we go.
Desirability, you know. Ooh. A watch that people want today is very likely a watch that people will want tomorrow. Now, you got to be careful here because there's some very desirable watches, basically all of Rolex's catalog, which has been hyped. Don't buy a watch in a balloon and expect to make money, but I can tell you that a sub, you know, regarding its retail price, or at least in accordance to its retail price, will always hold value pretty darn well because it's massively desirable. Now, if you're one of those schmucks that spent 20 grand on a sub, well, I can't help you. I'm sorry. You know, you're going to lose money. But, you know, in accordance to its retail price, desirability is a very easy factor to predict something that should withstand a recession and bounce back if it goes down at all.
Piggybacking on that, kind of the same train of thought, is if the watch is desirable, it might be timeless, or the other way around. So if a watch is timeless, right? Think your Speedmaster Professional.
Icons.
Right. Yeah. Rolex Datejust, Cartier Tank, Audemars Piguet Royal Oak. Okay. Like we can't guarantee that they're going to hit the same price, but eventually, right, if you follow inflation and things like that, at some point, as long as money continues to perform the way it always has, the watch should return because it's been timeless. It's been something that desirable.
A Cartier Tank is a Cartier Tank, and a GLC Reverso is a GLC Reverso. And just like the unique aspect, we're like, these timeless watches aren't unique. Yeah, but there's no real substitutes to them.
Right. 50 years into the future, 50 years ago, this is that thing.
This is that thing, 100%. Can I put one little caveat on these things?
Let's toss something else in there.
Guys, these are guides meant to help you as collectors, as watch lovers, and no one likes to lose money. But I will stress this because of the way the market's been changing. A lot of us YouTubers, me included, have been talking about prices. At the end of the day, buy what you love, buy what you can afford, and to hell with the market. This should be a purchase that makes you smile, that makes you feel good. This is not an investment, not an investment at all. So buy with your heart, less with your head. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, it could be, but that's like a bonus.
That's a bonus. It is a bonus. But it's a way to have fun, right? A way it should be done, in my opinion.
Like, what other hobby could you have to where maybe there's upside, right? Usually hobbies cost money. And you know what? But it could go the other way.
And this also costs money too, a lot of times. But my point is, it's great not to lose, and it's great to make a little bit. At the end of the day, my humble opinion, buy what you like.
I agree. So guys, this has been a list of 5 things here that you can look for in a watch that would very likely increase the chance of the watch being recession-proof or coming back from a recession.
Yeah.
We've had Federico here from Federico Talks Watches. Please do not forget to check out delraywatch.com, where you can check out the H. Moser Streamliner and so many other really cool watches that, quite honestly, we haven't had available at prices this low in a very long time, since years ago before the market came up. It's come back down. Take advantage of it while you can, because who knows what will happen in the future. Anything from you?
Nah, man, it's always a pleasure to shoot a video with you. I hope you guys enjoy it. And don't forget to subscribe to John P's channel.
And Federico Talks Watches. Thanks, guys.
Take care.